Hello and welcome. Today we're talking to Stephon Felmine, a content creator from Trinidad. He's an economics teacher
Yes.
at Mova Secondary, and his Facebook page describes him as the TikTok Trini alphabet guy. On the 11th of April 2020, he posted his first TikTok video, and since then he's amassed almost 150,000 followers and 2.8 million likes. Stephon, welcome.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Yeah, and welcome to Shaquille and Visham. A little bit happy about this meeting and how it's going and this conversation because, you know, when we first chatted, it was about going up by Farmer Harry and then the
Yes.
podcast. And when you were on your way here, I was thinking to myself, I say, it'll kind of be great if we somehow get to go to Farmer Harry first and then get to
come
chat.
here.
And it worked out that way. And
Yeah.
you coming all the way from New Grand, so I appreciate you all taking the time to come. Oh, I forgot to mention Kimberly, my wife who's in the background making a cake. So if you're hearing any noise, you could thank Kimberly for it. Part of my mission with this podcast is to really kind of show who's following afterwards what content creators going through and the business of creativity and content creation. Your fans, your followers, and people who want to get into content creation could get a little bit more sense of what the business is about, right?
Right.
Because you've accomplished extraordinary things, you and your team in that space of time, and I'm proud of what you're doing.
Thank you.
And speaking to my sister-in-law, Kimberly's sister, this morning, one of the things she mentioned is how relatable that your content is.
Yeah.
Because looking at it, she feeling like, you know, hey, this rural life, I could relate to it in
Yeah.
Cuba and whatnot, you know.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. So before we get started, I want to find out from like a support point of view. Tell me a little bit about the most important person in your life.
I think it's not only about one person, it's about like persons. So you have like your core friends, your core family, because I have a lot of people who support me in my journey as a content creator. So I wouldn't say there's one particular person, but there are several persons. We have my team who is with me here today, core members of the Stephon Felmine media. My mother, my father, my brother. I have some very close friends, school friends, work friends, colleagues, you know, all of them support me 100%. I want to thank them for it because without them, I'm nothing.
In preparing for this conversation, I'm browsing your social media pages and I'm thinking, Stephon have a real belly boy. You know, I mentioned it, I admire your ability to grind. You're showing up almost every day, sometimes twice a day, posting videos, making ads, videos with your students. You're doing wonderful things with your school. I saw that video where you had one of your sponsors come along and decorate the school classroom for Christmas. So I know it isn't easy, but you make it look easy, you and your team. And take me a little bit behind the scenes into your world as a content creator, the challenges in terms of idea generation and the work that's happening in the background. And I'm asking that question from the point of view that whoever is considering becoming a content creator, this is you may see the glamour of a video that's posted and, hey, great video, or I didn't really like that video. But what was kind of like your content creation process like with your team, your parents?
Right. So, as you just said, what people see is the final product of weeks of work, sometimes months of work, sometimes, because everything we do is content. If you really think about it, every action that someone does is content. And me trying to be a relatable content creator is about trying to bring that I don't know if relatability is a word. I don't know if that is the word. We'll work with it, right?
We're not English teachers.
Right, we are not English teachers. So it's about getting people to relate to content and get people to appreciate the content that I put out, or content generally that people would like to see or hear, as the case may be. So in terms of me coming up with my content, I have my content creators. I have Visham here with me who is keen on that as well. We have Shaq, who is my cameraman, but also helps me with content as well, because we always bounce off ideas of each other. Not only Visham and Shaq, but I may have a conversation with a friend, and in that conversation, I could then see content spinning in my head. So what people have to realize, any aspect of their life that they probably want to shop down the road, or they probably went to school, or they probably went to... So anyway, content is all around. This is how you tailor that to make the content suit you. Now, it also depends on the type of content you want to produce. Now, I am a comedian, quote unquote. So I try to switch my content based on that. But my persons might do food content, right? So anywhere you go, you buy something, make your content based on that. So it depends, but as I say, content is all around us and it's just us trying to speak with everyone around you and try to kind of, try to see how best you could relate it to your particular niche.
We were having this conversation earlier while we were walking to Farmer Harry. Like, how is there some kind of process that you use in terms of weeding out the good ideas, the bad ideas, or how do you decide if a video is a good idea and you are going to put this out there?
I think that all content is good content. When I say that, I should say that with some sort of explanation. There are persons who like the bacchanal and the cursing and ting. I am not that particular content creator. There are persons who love that content and people who provide that kind of content. But I find like if you post a video or you create a video that hasn't been posted and you find I really like how that looking, it have somebody who will like it out there. I'm telling you. I am telling you.
Every bread have the butter.
Every bread have the cheese, the butter, the kuchila, everything. Now listen. You might not think it's good content, but somebody will appreciate it once there is a message to be received. And once it's some kind of message or something they could learn from that. Don't mind if you feel, oh gosh, well, I wouldn't get no views. It's not about the views. You might get one view on that, but that one person that is one person who appreciate what you're doing as a content creator, if you understand what I'm saying.
Okay, so what's the idea that I might be creating content, it might not be necessarily succeeding from the point of view of views. But if it has a kind of overarching idea that I'm into edutainment,
exactly,
and this will fall in a garden and it might grow.
So let me explain something to you. So I would have rose to fame because of the Trini Alphabet series in March 2020. Now that alphabet garnered over probably by now I show probably over 1 million views. Probably over 1 million views to the whole thing, right? Across platforms. When I do an alphabet now, it doesn't come to like quarter of those views, right? Because at the end of the day, some persons don't like educational content. Let me be real. They like more funny content, more bacchanal related content. So if I put out the alphabet series, like right now I'm doing a Christmas alphabet, I know for a fact I will not get the traction that I would get if I put out something very comical. But I'm still putting it out there to keep my brand in alignment and to give those who appreciate the alphabet something that they would like to see and appreciate as well. I am known as the alphabet guy. People call me that all the time when I'm outside. Alphabet man, letters man thing. So I'm sticking with my core as well, even though I am not getting the 100,000 views as before. I know for a fact when I put out the alphabet series, I would never get that initial alphabet response that I got. But I still put it out there to align the brand, if you understand what I'm saying.
I think that's a kind of hard part for me, to kind of figure out, because you're vlogging maybe about food, you're visiting farmer, but to see like what's the overarching idea for me,
right?
And the importance of it. And I think that stood out in the interviews that you had, where you were constantly hammering this idea of edutainment.
Yeah.
And not necessarily looking at a particular series and saying, well, it's not doing as well as the first one, but I staying true to who I am.
That is it.
From a content creation point of view. So tell me a little bit about, we have Visham Shaquille here. And I'm a little bit curious about like what point it was that you realized that, hey, this is now getting bigger than me. I need support. I need a team. At what stage that happened for you?
I think the support was always there, It is not 100% formal. I would say it's still a bit ad hoc in a sense. But Visham is key on content creation. Like if we come up with an idea, we would sit together and we would come up with scenarios, as the case may be, where we put out content. Shaquille is always with me on camera work. He's an excellent cameraman.
And that was from the beginning?
Not from the beginning.
Okay.
The camera work were actually probably about a year ago. Because I realized when I go on stuff, I cannot be shooting as well. Right? If I go to something and I want to document it, I can document and be that presence as well. So I needed somebody as well. And then Shaq living close by would be easy. And Visham living close by. So the team is close. So if we had to shoot off something, it's like 1 minute drive away or it's next door. So that is one advantage of having a team where everybody close by. We could shoot things quick. If I had to shoot like the alphabet series we shoot that in less than a day.
Right.
26 videos.
And so, okay, so you do all your script writing.
Everything
you do all
down,
your recording. Yeah, and that content
so
is
that content just sitting down to post. But I'll ask Visham, if we could ask Visham to just talk about the content creation process, because he is key in that, so he might be able to shed more light on that as well. So you could question him about that as well.
All right. So, Bisham, you on the microphone, sir?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, content creation with Stephon, not difficult at all because, as he say, is basically what we do. So day-to-day things that would happen in Trinidad and Tobago, not just in Trinidad and Tobago, and how we live as a people, is those things we try to highlight, right? And try to make it comical as well. And some things that we do as a people is comical, to be fair. So it doesn't need any twisting or turning. And sometimes you highlighted the point about, whether it would be good content or bad content. As he said, it won't really be bad or good, right? Most of the time I tell Stephon, right? Sometimes we may not like something, but at the end of the day, right, we in this. So we could be hearing these things a lot. And when we thinking about the content, brainstorming and making the content, the actual video, we hearing it constantly. So if we watch back the video, we may not laugh. But say Lyndon Baptiste watch the video, he wasn't there. He may laugh at the video. He may connect with the content, but we wouldn't really connect with the content as the creator.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I think about like even in my book as a writer, and then you're reading the book, and there's this kind of disconnect. You're disconnected from it. You look at your profile. You're posting maybe a video a day, every other day, sometimes twice a day. How important is it in this line of work to be like showing up?
You have to show up. That is one thing. You see, people like to use this term social media influencer, right? I mean, it's a word that is around and the states have it big around the world, but am I really influencing who am I supposed to influence? That is what you have to think about too, right? Or am I just a content creator? So there's a difference between content creators and influencers. Influencing people, I think, as a teacher, from the teacher point of view, I could be an influencer. But I'm also a content creator. People just call me all kind of different names, teacher man, letter man, all kind of craziness, as I tell you. But I think as an influencer, well, not influencer, as I say, as a person out there in social media, I think you have to be respectable and let people see you for who you are and what you do. Now, people do this for a living. So you have to know if this is what you're going to do for a living, there's a certain standard that you have to be held to. Right? So I have a full-time job. So this is kind of like a sideline thing for me. But there are people out there doing this full-time. So if you really want to be an influencer or content creator, you have to show up and you have to do what is right and you have to follow certain rules and you cannot just be doing whatever you want because you are seen out there by the public. Little children to old people to everybody watching you and might make a decision based on what you say. So you have to be particularly careful on what you're doing.
So there are things that you wouldn't do, or there are certain jobs that you wouldn't accept. What do you see your responsibility as, particularly being a teacher?
So I am not accepting any particular job that would be, what is the word I'm looking for? That would be, that involve any political stance. I'm not involved in any. I would not be involved in anything like that. I'm thinking also like anything to do with obscenity, because as a teacher, teachers are technically held to high regard, right? So I have to look exactly as to where, because I am a teacher and social media influencer. There are people who are social media influencer alone. Them could do whatever they want, right? So I have to look at what my particular niche is. But I like to focus more on like comedy and children development. That is my thing, because I like the teaching thing, so I kind of fuse the content with that. So there are certain things I wouldn't do, especially things with like obscenities and politics and them kind of thing. I kind of staying away from that. Yeah. Yeah.
And happy for collaborating with me after do some Red Wall news and whatnot.
I don't know what's red. I didn't see any Red Wall news, so I don't know. Okay.
And which brings us to that kind of question in terms of even collaborating with people. Are there certain kind of decisions that you make in terms of when you see the responsibility that I have as a content creator, influencer, teacher, that what some of the factors you're considering in terms of, should I collaborate with someone, whether they're on YouTube, TikTok?
Right. I would collaborate with anyone who I see has value and has something to bring to the table. I am not collaborating with anyone who makes defamatory comments, racial remarks, constantly cursing in their videos. Because as I say, I see myself as a brand. I see myself as a brand. And do I want my brand, Stephon Felmine Media or Stephon 23, the teacher boy who does do funny videos? Do I want to be aligned with your brand? Because if I decide to do a brand with a YouTuber, a TikToker, Instagram, whoever, and that person is known for cursing, and I do a video with them, and I will be known for cursing as well. So you have to know who you're aligning yourself with, and you can't run down everything. Everything is not about money. You would put yourself in a position where you could lose your job and lose your followers just for 500. Come on, we have to be real out here. They have to know who out here is somebody who could build you up instead of break you down. That is simple as it is.
One of the things, thanks very much for that. And it's a good reminder because I don't know if I have been careless with it in the past, but maybe moving forward, I know is something I want to consider a little bit more. Something I'm struggling with, and Shaquille or Visham could chime in here as well, is this where y'all getting the fuel to show up? Because 3 years into the kind of content creation journey that I am going through, I having a little bit of difficulty with showing up. And what's the driving force behind, what you do and even working together with Stephon? Stephon could go first and then you could jump in anything.
Let them talk now, man. They sit down there. Let them talk.
They always say talking.
Let them talk.
They always say do what you love, and I think Stephon loves what he do as well. And, connecting with the people and seeing that, when he goes out there, he has so much persons that actually connects with him and enjoys his content. I think that's a major part of the fuel, that adds to him going out there and pushing out that amount of content on a daily basis. And that also gives us that energy as well, myself being in media and, being involved. I think Shaquille as well could say the same thing. It just pushes and fuels us to do just that.
I could think about the number and I could imagine it's the same thing for you all when you get in WhatsApp messages. Some people like that video make me laugh and you make my day.
Yeah, so Shaq actually kind of handles that. So I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Yeah, like Shaquille, tell me a little bit about your role.
He's a quiet guy, but he could put in a 2 cents, man. Just like how it is, like, yeah.
Yeah, let's lean a little bit closer to the microphone and tell me a little bit about your role on the team.
My role is the camera guy. Sometimes I also manage the Facebook page. I also manage the Facebook. Yeah, we get a lot of messages and stuff sometimes, but sometimes it's unnecessary stuff. So you have to pick who you answer and how you answer.
It's so easy for tone and words to be misunderstood on social media, and you could say something.
And you see, the thing is, it's not him that is answering them, so it's I. So I represent him.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I have to think how he would come across.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you manage this idea of blending all these voices to sound like one and then communicate?
Yeah.
It has to be like a real kind of personal friendship and
yeah, so that is why because we're always together, so they will know how I function as a person.
Right.
They know what I expect, and they know they could talk to me. I could talk to them wherever, and I trust them because they have my accounts, whatever. Visham basically live by me, things like that, because we basically live next door, right? I know Visham since he's small, right? So so we know how to work with each other, right? And the thing is, you have to know who you're working with. I don't know if, Lyndon, you have a team. I don't know if you have a team that you work with, but you have to be able to trust the people on your team because they are the ones to build you up too. Remember, Visham, I call him the head of content creation because he's the one who have the ideas as well. Shaquille, head of media and camera, But not only that, they intertwine too. So sometimes Shaq will do content creation, give me ideas. Sometimes Visham go on camera, work with me too. Right? So it's about versatility too.
And do you think you would have, and I'm asking this question based on team and understanding how it could propel even what I do forward, right? Do you think you would have reached as far as you are today if that team wasn't available for you?
I don't think so, because they are vital cogs in the wheel, right? Because, okay, if we have to go on 3 ad shoots, right? I cannot go and film that and talk and read script and do this. I'm just one person unless the client is providing all that information. It don't work so. It cannot. It cannot work so.
So when we see, for instance, a video where you pull up like a bag of grocery the other day and you have Maya in the front seat and you dress these guys with you in the
all
background taping.
All the time. Shaq taping, Visham with me, while we're going through and doing content, Visham will say, hey, don't do this so, do that so. Let me see how we could walk so. So he's a director kind of way too. So them is director, cameraman, everything in one. And Visham studying his degree in communication too. So he and journalism. So he know how to speak and he know how to write scripts and he know how to write TV ad. So is not Dongo Soro people I have with me. You understand? Shaq is a top class cricket cameraman.
Okay.
So it's not like I pull them out and say, you go be cameraman, you go be head of content creation. They are knowledgeable in their field. So you cast around your people you cast around your business because this is a business.
Hey boy. You know, I'm so happy that I reached out here for this conversation because I am sitting here and I'm learning so much and I can imagine the value it will be for people who want to create content and listening to it. Because you asked the question about having a team. Is my wife in the background, my dad.
Right.
But I do a lot of the edit. Most of the editing that comes out of it, things like setting up the camera and whatnot. You know, I'd run, because of the kind of political satire, and I kind of have a question about something, I'd run it by my wife. They're subscribers that I've come to trust and you will work with them.
Mm-hmm.
But by having a team I would love to have a video editor right now. Is it, you know, it's kind of like not at the place where the business could sustain a video editor, but is inspiring hearing how you all going about it and thinking about it as, well, hey, I may be the face of the business is Stephon 23, but you know, there's a whole team, different cogs in the wheel as you describe it, making this happen. So,
Yes.
so thank you very much for that information. Is real helpful. To kind of switch gears a little bit, you posted your first TikTok video on the 11th of April.
Okay.
1 year later, you turned your attention to Facebook and you started uploading videos. Then October the 26th, 2021, you started uploading videos on YouTube. Then there's Instagram. So I'm kind of curious about where you're getting the best results as a content creator in terms of reaching people. And if it is that you had to choose one particular platform to work with, you had to choose one where you're getting the best results, reaching the people who you want to reach or getting value out of your work. Where you, if you had to go back in time and start on a particular platform, is there one you would choose?
I think I'll ask Shaquille John to take this question because he always he would have seen the transition, being one of the social media manager as well.
All right.
It started off on TikTok, and TikTok kind of slowed down right now. So his major platform right now is Facebook.
Facebook again, the most traction outside.
Facebook.
And which particular, is there a particular platform that's helping you connect with? Because, okay, let me give my story first and then we'll come back to you, all right? I realized that YouTube, you have the monetization taking place or whatnot, but I learned that the YouTube monetization is not sufficient for me to ever grow the business in terms of being able to say, afford new camera, afford new gear. The real business is working with brands, working with companies. So is there a particular platform where people will say, hey, you know, we're reaching out to you because of your presence on TikTok and, you know, or Facebook or Instagram, whatever content you make for us, we want it to go there. I'm asking the question because I want whoever's a content creator coming up to know, well, if I had to choose one of these platforms to focus on, let me try my hand with TikTok or YouTube.
It's according to the brand you're working with. So, like, if the brand appeals to a younger audience, they'll want to go to TikTok. So if it's a more mature audience, they'll want their ads on Facebook. So Instagram is more like a mix of mature and the younger crowd.
Is interesting, boy, that you really have to. I think that's a big mistake I made with content creation, not really identifying which platforms you're reaching this particular type of audience and who your audience is. Like from working with Harry and Mr. Bat, it's interesting how I saw my audience evolve actually into people that were like, you know, senior citizens, Trinidadians, but live in Florida, Toronto, and so it's real interesting business. And thanks very much for that insight. I hope it helps me, and I hope it helps someone else. I guess I kind of asked this question already, but a brand approaches you to work with them. Other than money, what are some of the factors an aspiring content creator or influencer should consider before saying yes?
First of all, how does the brand align to your brand? I am a beauty blogger. We know makeup will align. So, you know, off the bat, yeah. But would a brand, and it have some off-key people in marketing now, I would say they don't understand social media marketing. They have no social media background. They don't appreciate social media influencers. So you might have people reaching out to a beauty blogger to sell ham. Yeah. That's am I lying, Chuck? Right. I am not lying. Right? You might reach out to me to sell Herbalife. Yes, I could understand that. Yes, because I'm big. But yeah,
You're talking about your reach on TikTok.
yeah, right? So it depends on the okay, so it have some social media influencers running on anything with money, right? The same beauty blogger, I just saying, a random beauty blogger will go and sell the ham. I just saying, right? Because they're getting money. But I think as a person, you have to see how it aligns into your brand as well. I mean, it all depends on you as a person. So it has some people who would specifically just stay within their particular niche and then are moving out. But if the beauty blogger want to sell ham, go and sell the ham, you're making the money. You know? But I think you should kind of stay within your niche. I mean, sometimes I do stay within my niche. I don't be 100%. I just kind of come out sometimes. But I want to be more of a person that trying to remembers for impact. I want people to remember me for years to come based on the works that I do, not just for a little short period of time. You know, he was an influencer back in the days. I kind of want to make an impact. So yes, I would do my little ads and thing, but I think my calling higher than that as an influencer. I want to leave a footprint that will stay. That is me. That is my personal vision. I don't know what other influencer's vision is, but that is mine.
Okay. And that's fantastic. You're looking at the legacy, the long-term value.
Yeah.
And so this question is on behalf of my sister-in-law, Becky.
Right.
And Becky asked this morning, she said, how he just come up with them names, boy? So if you could give me
I'll let the head of content creation answer that question. Visham, you go ahead.
You know, that's something we would have seen. Not only Becky would have asked that question, but, you know, a lot of persons in the comments would be asking, you know, Stephon is the name, so you come up with the names, you know. But it's kind of simple for us to come up with the names, right? Because, you know, our community, okay, just for instance, here, Mr. Bat, right, Mr. Harry, you know, simple things, merging names together, you know, like we had a name in the series that he doing right now, Morocco Akshu,
Right.
you know, them kind of names, right?
It's
So,
literally just putting together different things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it has to do with how I say it. Because I could say in a video, okay, I could put Bat and Harry in a name and make it real funny, like Battery.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm looking forward to see Battery, not
right?
the video.
But if I say, right? So if I just say battery, it's not funny.
Yeah.
But you have to put on the kind of slang that I have. Hey, my battery boy! Right? And that's right. So that name, they'll say, oh God, where you get that name? But we literally put Bat and Harry together.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Walking with you all was a real treat. Because there's this, it's not very distinct, you know, but there's this little kind of on and off switch that you have in terms of the voice change and whatnot.
Right. So it's like a kind of code switch. So as I tell people, when people, okay, so at times a lady was talking to me and she assumed that I was very uneducated.
Right.
So she didn't know I was a teacher and whatever, right? I know how to function in different spaces. You know, so you have to know your audience. The way how I talk to us when I go on school tours, how I talk to the children in a school tour, I would not talk to the same way in a ministry setting. It's about having and knowing your market or knowing your audience, right? So I will speak when I have to speak. I'm speaking properly here right now. You hear my code switch like how I do with butter or whatever just now. Your code switch according, and that's what people like. That's what people like.
Yeah, I was reading a book recently. I think it was Think Big, Act Small, and one of the things that they pointed out is that the most successful people, most successful businesses are the ones that you could look at the environment and you could adapt. And I think that's the beauty. You know, like sometimes we would be vlogging and people would make certain comments about the language, the type of language you're using and whatnot in terms of colloquial. But if I sit down to write and I choose to write that story in standard, proper, whatever we calling it, I could do it.
Yeah.
And the ability to adapt is one that, you know, you're seeing on the page and the work that you're all doing, and hats off to you all. The next question kind of ties into managing situations that could come up. Sometimes we post content and it may not be received a particular way, good intentions or whatever, right? So sometimes we step on toes without intending to. As a content creator, it's easy to post content with the very best intention to educate and entertain, but it gathers negative comments. Or whether it's accusations of being a copycat or accusations of mocking other people's religion. So compared to the 11th of April 2020, when you posted your first TikTok video, what are some of the factors a content creator should consider or you consider before you post a video now? Does that process look entirely different?
That is a very good question, because we actually had a situation, I'll let Visham speak on it a little bit, where I had posted a Diwali video that I did a TikTok trend with my kids in school, and it was because of the caption. It went viral, but it was a contentious issue. So the caption was Diwali at Movalavantil, but the dance that the kids were doing was to a chutney song. So I'll let Visham spread a little more light on that.
Yeah, well, that would have just been one thing. Of course, early in Stephon's career as well, he would have been accused of mocking someone or taking the idea of a Guyanese TikToker as well. So he would have had different challenges. But in relation to this video, it would have been with the inclusion of a song, which of course is the topic of a major trend on TikTok, a Devon and Gatu song, which is show them you could dance girl and wine and go down low, right? So, right. So in that post, of course, there are different things that you could have, taken into consideration, and you could have twisted it and say, well, hey, it may not be wrong, it might be correct, But if we look at the video and we look, as he said, maybe it was the caption, but we don't know. But persons took it from a different angle. Some persons enjoyed it, Some persons had their own thoughts that it was good. But the thing is, right, it was not highlighting the Diwali celebration at the school. Of course, another video would have been posted that would have highlighted the Diwali celebrations at the school. But this was just a trend video that, hey, the children would have said, hey, sir, we could jump on this trend. We have on some nice clothing, we could jump on the trend.
I don't know if I'm being rude to interrupt you here, but what I am trying to get at here is in terms of before you post a piece of content, no, whether it has to do with a series about Santa Claus, calling someone's name from a particular part of Trinidad, is there some sort of assessment that's going into, have we covered all the angles? Is there any sort of offense that could possibly be here? Because, so I'm asking the question from the point of view of when I want to post a piece of content, I realize particularly if it's Red Wall News, I need to know, hey, how may the East Indian community receive this? And so forth. So I kind of, what I want to bring awareness to is the content, is it as simple as just hit and publish? Or is it that we have a checklist that have we offended X, Y, Z? so that we could just be wiser in terms of posting. I could be wiser in terms of posting based on some of the reasonings that you all follow.
So basically what we do is we put ourselves in like the situation. So like Stephon might be this person X with this characteristics. He might be person Y with this characteristic. So he will watch the video from that point of view and see if he is offended by it. I might watch it as person A with different characteristics and see if a person is offended by it. And the same goes to him.
So there's an active process
Yeah,
that
it
you all
is.
follow.
And what is good too with our team is that we are also religiously and ethnically diverse.
Right.
Right? So I am Christian. Visham is Hindu. Shaka, I think is Christian, eh?
Yeah.
Right. I am East Indian. Visham is East Indian. Shak is African. Right? So what I might see as good, Shak would see something different. Right? So if I say I want to do something for Emancipation Day, and let me just say I mightn't be as knowledgeable. Shak might know something. He'll say, hey, don't use that way, whatever. So that is an advantage too with us being, our team being diverse in that regard.
Right. I'll get a quick story. Some years ago, I did a Red Wall News, and it was where they were talking about disabled people and certain type of infrastructure that they were putting in place. There's a part where Coleman Burt is talking and I wanted to play that caption. So I wanted to pretend that I was sleeping, listening to him talk. And when I show my wife the video, she's like, why are you mocking disabled people? And I was so, when I saw what she saw and what she commented on, I realized the response. Now I could make mistakes along the line, but I realized the responsibility that we have as content creators in terms of that aspect of it. So thanks very much. I'm sorry for interrupting you just now, Visham, but I just wanted to get into the process of posting content and what it looks like. So, of Stephon, in closing, of all the things you've accomplished, Which accomplishment to date stands out the most?
That's a tough question. You know what I like the most? I mean, sometimes I don't know, but like seeing your impact in real life. Now, sometimes it tires me out at times because sometimes I go out and everybody just coming up, oh gosh, I'm tired. Because Shaq buffed me yesterday because a lady come to me and I tell she you're busy, and he was like, you shouldn't do that, whatever. And in hindsight, I should not have done it. I wasn't really rude, but I say, I'm busy, I have to go. He said, no, you have to always talk to your because they have you there, you know? So on the flip side of that, when I go somewhere and seeing people give me those positive remarks, because anywhere I go, people come up to me and it's like, thank you for what you're doing, thank you for making me laugh. I love what you're doing with the children. I think that is the most refreshing part of the job, quote unquote, because you're actually seeing what you do in real life, right? And and as well is seeing the little children coming up and wanting to take pictures with me. I think that is the best because I love children. I love teaching and seeing that the little children and you're seeing that I making these little children laugh, and then I have a tanty about 80 years coming. So is that the span is large. So it's like I have people that watch me across the age groups, which is good. And from that you could see that I'm really making a positive impact.
Yeah.
I think that is the most refreshing part of the job. Although, as I said, it is tiring at times when I go. Like how Shaq buffed me up yesterday.
So I wonder if it'll be okay for me to take a picture. My wife for you to take a picture.
Yes, you could. You could, yes.
Kimberly, do you have any questions for Stephon and his team by chance? Just to repeat the question. The question is about like working with students, the ministry, and permissions coming in. Any concerns that there might be along those lines?
Yeah. So we so the ministry actually allows for that in a sense. The school has a consent form where we have the parents sign off, and once the parents sign off and the ministry, the SS3 is aware, we could go ahead and do what we have to do. Because recently I would have assisted my school in trying to rebrand its image. As you all are aware, I teach at a school in a depressed, quote unquote, community. And I'm trying to rebrand and build the page. So I'm in charge of their TikTok account. My next teacher is in charge of the Facebook and Instagram. So posting content and trying to rebrand their image is something that we wanted to do for a while, but we had to get the parents' consent. And once the relevant school supervisors are aware and we get the consent forms signed by the parents, there is not an issue. So when the new Form 1s come in, we'll just make sure that the parents sign one time so that any content posted, we could post.
And how parents responding to this?
Well, most parents love me.
Okay.
So they don't have an issue. Yeah, because they'll be like, yes, so my mommy really like you. And I was like, so it's not an issue. It's not an issue. It's basically not an issue. Yeah, so it's fine.
Thank you very much for the contribution that you all making to Trinidad and Tobago. I want to thank you all so much. Hey, you mentioned that you're going on a lunch. Tell the people what you're up to these days and what you want to share. We know where we can find you. I will post links in the notes.
Well, Stephon23 on TikTok, Stephon23 on Instagram, Stephon Felmine Media on Facebook and YouTube. How are YouTube looking?
Well, this is that I go in and post a video with Farmer Harry and I go in and tag Stephon23 and Farmer Harry.
YouTube was the last platform I joined, so I'm not too familiar with it, to be honest. But as I was telling them, it's so funny that the life of a content creator / influencer is like, today I am in, what was the village we went to? Manakal Valley with boots and mud to an event in the bricks tonight. So it just shows the spans that this job could really take. Yeah, so I had to go home now and dress up like this big high society person to go in the bricks when I was in Manakal Valley in boots and mud just about 2-3 hours ago. So it's a nice talking to the people who want to be content creators. It's something nice, but it's a lot of hard work. Don't be fooled by that final video that you see. It's a lot of work. You hear from a team, the background. It's a lot of work. No, get to your particular niche market that you want to focus on and be the best that you could be. Don't try to follow the other content creators. Be your own self, be your own brand, and just build from there. Work hard, and you will be successful.
Yeah. Folks, Stephon, Visham, Shakil, thank you very much. It's an absolute thrill to work with you all. Just thanks for taking the time after visiting Farmer Harry to sit down in this podcast. And I wish you all the very best continuing. This has been so inspiring and eye-opening for me. And I enjoy collaborate. As a YouTuber, I enjoy collaborating with a
You are the first YouTuber I ever collaborated
Well, look
with.
at that,
So
look at that.
congratulations, Lyndon Baptiste.
I'm happy I make the checklist.
Yes. And all the best to you and your endeavors as well on YouTube. I don't know if you're navigating other platforms.
Now and then.
Right. Well, I know YouTube is your course, so all the best and all the successes in your life.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much.